money. We all want to make more of it. Ideally, we also prefer to achieve this without excessive exertion. This is precisely the topic I wish to explore today. The conventional method of earning customarily, income is generated by offering a form of utility to others, typically by addressing an issue through goods or services. However, to truly maximize returns, that alone falls short. You must also demonstrate proficiency in your chosen field. Across most professions, individuals at the pinnacle often command significant earnings. These individuals possess exceptional mastery of their craft, thus constituting the top 1% of their domain. The greater society's or the market's perceived value of that profession, the more substantial the financial gains for those individuals. Conversely, those less adept at their work, or who chose a profession deemed less valuable, predictably earn considerably less. These are the individuals at the base of the pyramid receiving meager compensation. Therefore, it would seem logical to strive for excellence in your area to boost your income, wouldn't it? The hurdles of achieving peak performance, I held this belief for an extended period. For some, it can indeed be an effective strategy. Yet, embarking on this path soon reveals that competition at the summit and on the journey there can be utterly relentless. You'll contend with others who dedicate every fiber of their time, energy, and effort to their work, sometimes sacrificing all else. Furthermore, in certain sectors, you must belong to the top 0.1% to witness any substantial financial outcomes. For instance, merely qualifying to compete at the Olympics is incredibly demanding, but the disparity in earnings between the first-place finisher and the person who ranks fourth is absolutely astonishing, and occasionally their performance difference is a mere tenth of a second. The ruthlessness can be astounding. Nevertheless, being among the top 1% or even top 20% in a particular area is often enough to secure a comfortable living and alleviate financial concerns. My central point is the vast income disparity between those at the zenith of their fields and those who aren't. Talent stacking, an alternative strategy. Fortunately, over time I discovered that achieving substantial income doesn't necessitate being the absolute best. Instead, there's an alternative approach, one where you don't necessarily need to expend extreme effort, but it still enables you to elevate your market worth sufficiently to earn exponentially more. And it's remarkably straightforward. Rather than aiming to become world-class in a single discipline, you instead integrate another complementary ability into your existing skill set. That's it. The best part is you don't need to excel exceptionally. In that new ability, being proficient or just above average is frequently quite adequate. This is because, in many scenarios, good plus good often equates to, or even surpasses, excellent. The more pertinent skills you successfully combine, the more valuable you render yourself. This is a highly uncomplicated concept often overlooked, but I believe it represents the most accessible avenue to significantly boost your market value and earning potential. Scott Adams' talent stacking concept. Scott Adams, the creator of the Dilbert comic strip, coined this idea, talent stacking. As Scott himself explains, he possesses limited artistic aptitude, average business acumen, good but not outstanding writing ability, and a modest sense of humor. When his skills are assessed individually, he isn't world-class in any of them. Rather, he's quite ordinary. However, Scott devised a method to blend all those abilities for a singular objective, thereby enabling him to create something not everyone else can. A timeless comic that elicits laughter and also generates substantial revenue. Understandably, many artists can draw more skillfully than Scott, and numerous stand-up comedians are funnier than him. Yet there aren't as many funny artists, nor are there many comedians who can draw. By merging two or more skills, Scott entered an entirely new niche where competition was far scarcer, allowing him to distinguish himself. This is why talent stacking proves so effective. The efficacy of talent stacking: if you're merely average in one skill, you'll remain unnoticed. You're simply one among many capable of performing the identical task. Consequently, those who are superior, the top 1% in that domain, will naturally seize most opportunities that arise. However, individuals adept at effectively combining two or more complementary skills instantly become more valuable simply because they can accomplish something others cannot or are unwilling to do. If you've ever pondered how some individuals less skilled or intelligent than you earn more, this is the explanation. They simply blend a few useful abilities and almost by default they ascend to the top 1% of their new field purely because their particular skill combination is so rare that competition is minimal. And you can replicate this. Now, I'm not claiming it's effortless, but it's certainly more attainable than staking everything on a single skill. The reason for its easier nature is that it doesn't demand extensive time to grasp enough about a subject and become reasonably proficient. Conversely, due to the law of diminishing returns, the deeper you delve into something and the more expert you become, the harder it is to achieve significant improvements. An elite athlete might train for years merely to shave a few seconds off their mile time. Meanwhile, just a few months, a novice can improve their mile time by minutes. This is your objective: to enhance a skill just enough to become competently good, but without over-investing time and energy. So, for example, imagine you wish to improve your marketing abilities. You could pursue a university degree in marketing, gaining 95% of all relevant knowledge, but this would consume 4 years. Alternatively, you could opt for a simpler route and read a few books on the subject, or enroll in an online course. You would acquire 70% of all marketing knowledge in perhaps a few months. Certainly, you wouldn't be an expert, but you'd be above average, which is sufficient. And in the time it would take to learn an additional 10%, you could integrate another skill into your repertoire. Thus, while mastering something might take a lifetime, becoming above average in multiple skills usually takes only a few months, making yourself more valuable that way. This is why talent stacking is the more accessible path.
What you really need is vitamin M, money, McLaren, Mercedes, Money Lab Insights. Subscribe.